Another question from James. What software stack does Launch use? Which apps are integral to your team's success and why? What are the most impressive software apps right now? Slack, Notion, Zoom, etc. Obviously, we're big fans of Slack and Notion and Salesforce. And gosh, we just use every piece of SaaS software you can imagine out there. Asana, Monday. We use it all. We love it all. I just am in love with the fact that software is so affordable and gets constantly better. We use Squarespace. We're using SendGrid and Twilio. I mean, some of these are sponsors, past and present. Some of them have never been sponsors. But it's just a really great way to make your people bionic. What you need to do is look at all the software and make sure you don't get SaaS burnout in your organization where I think at one point we may have gotten up to like 14 SaaS products, and we looked at it and said, you know what, let's cut these 2 or 3 because we can do that in this core piece of software. So as an example, Google Docs is something we use, but we don't like Google Docs for doing what we do in Notion. Notion's so much better than just a doc here on the side that nobody has access to. So a lot of what we use Google Docs for, we're out of, but we still love Google Sheets. We still love Airtable. So we're still using, some select ones. And then I also like people to, roll their own and spin their own and evaluate these things on their own. So if somebody wants to use Airtable in my team and another person is in love with Google Sheets, I'll let them, pursue their muse. And then eventually, we'll pick one, or if we're not, we just let them use both because I care about results. If you happen to, as a chef, like a certain knife, and I happen to like a different brand of knife, in today's world, it's okay for us to use 2 different knives. In the old days, it'd be like, oh no, we have to be on this platform. As an example, we love Dell monitors. I love Dell laptops and computers. I love using Chrome. I am off of Mac OS because it's such a disaster and productivity killer. It's got so much cruft, and machines are 3 or 4 times more expensive than Chrome machines and 2 times more expensive than Windows machines. So I've gone all in with Chrome, and I'm actually warming up to Windows again. And I got this Dell Chromebook, and it has all my ports back on it. And I'm like, oh my God, I got all my ports back. I have an Ethernet port in my laptop. I have a memory card in my laptop. I have a SIM card in my laptop. I've got a USB-C and 2 regular USBs. I've got an HDMI on my laptop. No more dongles. I'm back to having a Dell, and I love it. So shout out to Dell. And shout out to people rolling their own. And in our video department, we're now realizing we can buy 2 Dell machines for the price of an equivalent Apple machine. So we can we can buy a machine that has twice as much memory and twice as much storage and 25% more CPU power than what we would pay for that insane Mac Pro. Not the MacBook Pro, but the Mac Pro Tower. Like, why would you ever buy that when you could buy a Dell that's just souped up with a ton of memory? Makes no sense. So I think you got to look at the bottom line as well and negotiate with your SaaS providers too, because they will play ball if it's too expensive. Great question.